All right. So now the next topic is, what is brand alchemy? So I went to do like a little bit of research on what brand alchemy is. And in history, brand alchemy actually was the ancient process of turning ordinary material into something valuable, like turning lead into gold. And it's also the process, in my own understanding, alchemy is the process of transforming, creating, and connecting. So for me, brand alchemy input is the process of connecting all these branding elements that I mentioned earlier on: your visual identity, your verbal language, your brand strategy, every single thing, turn it into a powerful experience for people. So individually, your logo, your color, your tone of voice, your customer service, they're all good. But when you connect them together, that is what creates like a form of transformation for people. That is what creates an experience. That is what makes people act a certain way for your brand. So yes, your visual identity. I know Femi mentioned about the visual identity. Your visual identity is basically what people see, the face of your brand, your logo, your brand color, your typography, all of that, your brand patterns and everything. That is what your visual identity is. Your verbal language is what people hear. Your tone of voice, your messaging, all of that, that is what your verbal language is. Your brand strategy is the purpose behind your brand. And then your brand experience is what people feel about your brand. So all of this put together, if you're able to connect all of these pieces together, that is what brand alchemy is. So moving forward, what does it entail to build a great brand? I have 3 things on how to build a great brand. I feel like I call it like my 3 C's. We have the clarity, brand connection, and brand consistency. So now, for the clarity, is how you're able to be clear with your brand messaging. From the start, you are clear about everything that you are doing. This is what people know about your brand. Okay, all the messaging, everything that you communicate to people about your brand, is it clear enough? Oh, I am a hairdresser that does this and does that, and I do not accept so and so. That is your clarity. That is the clarity of your brand messaging. I don't know if that makes sense. And then connection, how you touch people emotionally and all of that. And then consistency, how you show up consistently everywhere. And I would like to use an instance for Indomie. When I said Indomie, not a lot of people know that Indomie is noodles, like it or not. And when I go to the next, maybe a shop around my area, and I go and meet them and say, oh, please, I want to buy Indomie. It might not be Indomie I'm talking about. I might be talking about Mimi noodles. But there's a word that has been imprinted in all of us' mind, which is Indomie. And the way Indomie has been able to sell their story, the way they have been able to be clear with their messaging, is what has created this in my heart. They have been clear with their story, they have been consistent with their story, and they have been able to form a connect. So that is what creates a great brand. I would like to classify Indomie as a great brand, and that's why I use them as an example. So those are the 3 elements of a great brand: clarity, connection, and consistency. So the next topic is storytelling. When I started off this conversation, I started by giving you a story about myself. I didn't tell you, oh, I'm the CEO of blah, 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 and I studied international relations in school. None of that. I told you a story about how I started my creative journey. So storytelling is the ability to I don't want to use tell a story because basically it's telling a story, but it's the ability to drive a narration, an experience, put people on a journey. That's the ability to put people on a journey. When you're thinking about all of this, you're probably thinking, 2020, I was in my house in 2020 and blah, 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 blah. I've been able to carry you on a journey on my experience. Now you know me better beyond the typical, oh, yeah, she's the creative director of the Bamboo Agency, or she studied international relations, like I mentioned earlier on, and all of that. And that's what storytelling does. And storytelling in branding is the ability to be able to put your consumers, your customers on a journey, communicate your brand story properly. That's the essence of storytelling. I don't know if that makes sense. So yes, the next thing I'll be touching on is the effect of branding on businesses and consumers. So the effect of branding on businesses is very, very simple. First things first, branding, if it is done very well, it can be able to influence how people act. It can be able to influence. Like, I'm seeing you beyond just what you're selling. I'm seeing you beyond I'm seeing you beyond just what you are selling, number one. I'm seeing you beyond. There are other people in this area. Why should I pick A? We have Mama Wasiu. We have Mama Sikira. Both of them are selling akara. Why am I going to Mama Wasiu that shop is way longer than Mama Wasiu that is opposite my house? Maybe Mama Wasiu customer service is better. Maybe Mama Wasiu sells better akara. It could be the experience I'm facing with the brand. So the effect of branding on businesses, and I would like to touch on the effect on branding on businesses. I feel like I'm talking too fast. I'm so sorry, guys. I talk way too fast and I'm out of breath. So yes, I would like to touch on the effect on branding on businesses. So let me go over it. I have like a short note here. So number one, it creates better recognition. People can instantly recognize you, spot your business. Number two, it creates customer loyalty. Like I mentioned, there's Mama Wasiu, there's Mama Shakira. The reason why I go there every single day instead of Mama Shakira, even if Mama Shakira is closer to me, is because I've had like a form of experience with her, and now I've formed a loyalty with that brand. So stronger pricing power. It also creates stronger pricing power. That way, people are not just looking at me because of my price points. People have like a deeper connection with my brand. Even if I call my own akara 5,000 naira, and this woman is selling her own 1,000 naira, I will still prefer to go to Mama Wasiu instead of Mama Shakira, just because of my experience with that brand. And then competitive advantage. You stand out even in saturated markets. So it does not matter how big this market is. There might be 1,000 businesses doing the same thing, but the branding creates a form of competitive advantage for you. You're able to stand out. People see you differently from the rest of them. It doesn't matter how many brands are doing the same thing like you. They cannot offer the same experience like you. So now, on customers, number one, they feel confident about choosing you. This buying power thing is a mental, people are emotional about buying more than anything. I want to feel a certain way from buying from somebody. It's either I care about the price point. We have different consumers, but I will not like touch up on now. But people can either care about your price, comfortability, or whatever they feel with your brand. So do I feel confident choosing you? With good branding helps your consumer feel confident choosing you every single day. They feel a sense of identity with working or being with you or choosing you every single day. This brand is for people like me. I am dyslexic, and that's why I am working with this brand. Oh, this brand takes care. I'm trying to go on a weight loss journey, and that's why I'm going to choose this brand over this one, because they see me better. They aid to this thing that I am struggling with. So Donald Miller likes to say something. He says that there are three types of problem. We have the internal problem, we have the external problem, and we have the psychological problem. The internal problem is the problem that your consumers are facing. Oh, I am fat and I need to get rid of this fat. External problem is with the solution that you're providing to that internal problem. So now you provide weight loss tea or something, and your psychological problem is the ability to tell the story, to sell that thing to the internal problem. So now, how do I feel? How are you able to aid your external problem to my internal problem, and your external solution to my internal problem? Your consumer are always the hero, so you must tell a story with your product that aids to them, that they feel a certain way, they are seen in ways that other people cannot see them. That's the essence of branding in businesses. So like I was saying, they feel a sense of identity with your brand that no other brand can actually represent them. And lastly, they get emotional satisfaction, not just a product. Like I said, people buying things is more of an emotional decision than any other thing. I can just buy a product from a person because I really like a person. Most of the time, we listen to Davido's song. I'm very sure it's not all Davido's song that you like, but sometimes you listen to that song and you can brag about that song for money tonight because Davido is your babala, because that's the person that you like. You have had like a form of connection with the brand Davido. And that's the reason why you always choose Davido every day. Even if you do not particularly like that song, or you do not resonate with it as much as you would his other song. But the fact that you have formed like a bond with that brand Davido, that is what branding creates. It creates a form of emotional satisfaction in the hearts of these consumers. Then The ultimate goal of branding. So yes, for me, the ultimate goal of branding is very simple. It is the ability to build trust and preference, to create a brand that lives in people's hearts and not just in their wallets. To create a brand that lives in people's hearts and not just in their wallet. Anybody can pay 5,000 naira, 10,000 naira, 1 million naira for a service. But what will make me come back every single time? Let me tell me not to rush. Okay, so I'll try and calm down. Maybe I'll go over it again, just in case I missed one or two things. But yes, like I was saying, create a brand that lives in people's heart and not just in their wallets. So why would this person come back to your brand over and over and over again? Do you understand? The ability for people to come back over and over again, they must do something that you are doing that the next person is not doing. Because I can as well buy something from you and never come back again, depending on my experience with you. Do you understand? So the ultimate goal of branding is simple: to create a brand that lives in people's hearts and not just in their wallet. Create something that is very meaningful, that is beyond just making money from people fast. You're not going to create a long-lasting brand if you just care about the people's wallets or you just care about making money at the time. What are you selling? What value are you giving? Like, I know that a lot of people like to talk about, oh yeah, my worth, my value, and all of that, and which is very beautiful. But like a good friend of mine like to say, know your roots before you know your worth. Are you in depth? How much value do you have to give? Or do you just care about just making money from that thing? If it's just like that, then a lot of people will be making billions. Know your roots. What are you selling? Why should people come to you every single day? Why are you different from the next person? Or are you just ringing the bell? Know your worth every single time. Be in depth. And like I would like to say, a lot of creatives, which is very beautiful. I'm happy that a lot of people are knowing their worth right now, which is great. But also, don't let your worth don't let it be questionable. And it goes back to branding. Do not let the value that you are giving to your consumers be questionable. Don't let me feel like after I bought your product, don't let me feel like you just scammed me. Anyway, so like I said, I'll go back to the cup because like I know I rushed some parts. And like Femi mentioned, this is my first time, so please pardon me. So back to branding. Give me a second. So yes, branding, like I said, is the deliberate act of shaping that picture in people's mind and the experience that people get with you. And I would like to even touch on the different aspects of branding. So like I mentioned, we have the visual identity. I know I briefly touched on this. So the visual identity, like I said, is the face of your brand, how people see you. So we have different elements of branding. We have the visual identity, and visual identity entails your brand logo, your brand colors, your typography, patterns, photography style, imagery, all of that good stuff. That is what your visual identity is. And a lot of misconception about this brand visual identity. A lot of people like to think visual identity is brand identity, which is certainly not true. The brand identity, however, is putting all of these branding elements together, like I said, from your verbal identity to every single element that exists in branding, and be able to form like an experience for people that I am able to wake up one day and say, yes, I'm choosing this brand because of so and so. You have altered people's thinking. That is what branding does to people. However, visual identity is very, very important. It's just basically how you look like. Imagine looking so beautiful and not having any essence. So that's why I find it very funny when a lot of people think verbal identity is visual identity. We have been able to successfully build in the minds of people that logo is not brand identity. Yes, that's great. But visual identity is not brand identity as well. Just because you can create a logo, just because you can create color palettes, just because you can do this, can do that, does not mean that you are an identity designer. How well are you able to communicate? How are you able to advise your clients? Okay, we're doing strategy now. In Bamboo Agency, we like to do something simple. We have like what we call concept statements. So a concept statement is basically a statement that guides our creative direction from top to bottom. And I would like to say in visual identity, in the verbal language, brand strategy, every single touch point, branding touch points. So I'll give you an instance of the Bamboo Agency. If you think of bamboo, you think of building, a lot of times we use it as scaffoldings in sites, but sightseeing buildings and everything in different sites. I can see one building opposite me right now, and they use the bamboo to hold it together. So I was thinking about it. I was like, okay, what should be our concept statement? My team and I thinking, oh, what should be our concept statement? It should be building, because that's one of the core things that bamboos are known for, or they are used for. Do you understand? So now we come up with a concept statement, or if you don't like to call it concept statement, come up with like a core concept for your branding, and that should be able to guide every touch point. Now, in terms of the designs and all of that, how can it guide that? In terms of the languages, we say one key thing: build with us, because we're trying to build brands. We believe that our consumers want to build brands that last, and that's what our core focus is. Do you understand? So that's what we try to imprint this concept statement into every touch point that we're doing. So in terms of, we even call our clients, it's an inside joke, we call our clients pandas, because pandas use bamboo for resting. They rely on bamboo. They chew on bamboo. They use bamboo to do a lot of things as well. And we call our clients, our consumers, audience, pandas, our pandas. That is how you know how it is very intentional. And you can see that I've not touched on anything regarding design in any of this. So now you must be able to know that visual identity is not brand identity. And I feel like I touched on verbal identity in a way. So your brand messaging, positioning statement, all of those things, how you sound to people. And now you might think that that is where it still ends. What about the experience, the brand experience that people feel when you connect to your brand? So you can look good, you can sound great, but also the experiences, the products that you even sell or services that you sell, how great are they? Because these things are what keeps you in a room. Visual identity, a lot of things can open the door for you, but what keeps you in the room is this entire branding that people fail to consider. I had a client that said, oh, I want to build a brand. Morenike, are you sure this thing will work? Blah, 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 and everything. And I'm like, okay, tell me, what is the dream? What are you trying to build? Because I like to know what every client is trying to build, not just what I can create for you, because I can promise that I can create something great for you. But can you promise that the services or products you're providing is also great? So, and I asked him, okay, what are you trying to sell? What is the product? What is the service? And everything. And how can we better factor it? Because I have like these conversations with them. I care about every project I work on. So this is very, very key for me. And we're able to refine it. Okay, these are the suggestions to make this thing better. These are the things to make that better. There was this client, we worked on a brand. They offer customizable options. We started analyzing how this customization can work. Because it's very, very nice to sell, oh, we offer customization. With that, in long term, can you actually offer it? How consistent can you be? I gave an example of Indomie and how they have been consistently telling you, oh, we sell a product that is very, very fast. You can easily cook Indomie under 5 minutes. That's one thing I remember about their messaging. They have said it continuously. And not only have they said it, they have been able to prove it. Because every time I cook Indomie, I wait for 5 minutes because of the brand has said it. So it's not just about saying, oh, yes, we offer customization. It's about also letting your consumers experience this customization. So yes, like I said, your verbal language, your brand strategy, every single touch point is what makes up your branding, and not just your logo, not just the color, not just this, not just that. Create a brand that is just beyond the physical, beyond what it sounds like. And yes, regarding the brand alchemy, I feel like I touched up on this very well. You know what? I'll talk about the common misconceptions, even though I've touched on number one, which is branding is not just your logo or the visual identity. The second misconception is branding is only for big companies. This one is very funny to me because, like I mentioned, every single person has a form of branding. Mrs. Shakira, Mama Shakira has a form of branding. Akara is sweeter than the next woman's spoon. Or Femi, for instance, Femi loves to creative so much. He wants everybody to be here, blah, 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 all of that. That is what I remember Femi by. That is a form of branding for Femi. What do people say about you when you are not in the room? That is a form of branding. Do you understand what I mean? So yes, branding is not just for big companies. I feel like that's a very funny thing. However, I know I told Femi the other day that not everyone, like your business might thrive when you're not doing branding, when you don't have a form of branding, it's just going to keep thriving every day. You cannot survive long term. If people are putting in work every single day to look good, sound right, their experiences with the consumers are very great. Why you that you are their competitor or you are their competition and everything? How can you exist when a business is putting in their best every single day and you are just trying to show up one way or another, trying to make one little bag here and there? Anyway, number 3 misconception is branding is about looking nice, which is not true. You guys already know this. I feel like people already know this. You guys are already my best friends. It's not about looking nice, like you know. It's not just about looking nice, it's about sounding nice. It's about the experiences being nice as well. You have to aid to your consumers' internal problems. People have different reasons why they're coming to meet you. Some people, it might be for ego play, like brands like Gucci, brands like Louis Vuitton. They aid to people's ego, like status, for lack of better word, and everything. Some people, it could be like they actually have urgent needs that they're trying to meet. It could be for various reasons, and you must hate or tend to that reason. If you say you are selling to so and so, you must tend to the reason, the people properly, not just saying it. So those are the common misconceptions about branding. And now the next thing would be why branding matters. Branding matters because it doesn't. Branding matters because it does things that money cannot. Money cannot buy a lot of things, as opposed to what a lot of people believe. You can waste 1 trillion naira. Nokia the other day, they did like a rebrand. Was it last year or 2 years ago? I can't remember, and everything. But if their product is not good, nothing will change. It will not change the amount of people that buy from them. It will not change anything. It's just, okay, Lonka has a new logo. They have new colors. They have new this. They have new that. So it does things money cannot buy directly. What experience are you? Are you all round? Are you an all-rounder, or are you focusing on one thing and just trying to patch every single thing? Or are you just looking beautiful and aesthetic and everything? People will realize how mediocre you are long term. Anyway, so it makes people choose you when you are not there, and even when there are cheaper options. The other day, I wanted to buy sardine, and a typical sardine that we know, and everything. I know I can't remember the name right now, but I have a sardine brand I always buy, and I didn't see it in the shelf, and I saw another one, and I was like, "What kind of sardine brand is this one?" I didn't buy any sardine that day because I have already built trust and loyalty with a certain brand, and I went to the next shop to look for that sardine, even when I saw a full stack of sardines on the table. Why did I do such a thing? Why did I trust that brand so much to go to another shop to buy it? That is what branding does. It makes people choose you even when you are not there, even when there are cheaper options, even when there are more convenient options. All of that, it makes people choose you. And sorry, see how everybody calls Indomie noodles. Like, people think that the actual noodle is actually Indomie, every single brand. Number 2 thing it does is build trust, so people can return to you without you begging them. Like, I mentioned before how people consistently choose you. Can everyone hear me? I don't know, my camera just stopped working all of a sudden.
Yes, we can hear you.
Okay, yeah, I don't want to turn on my camera. Yeah. Oh, my screen stopped sharing too. So sorry, I don't know what happened.
Sorry, it was me. I think I meddled with a setting. So sorry. So please.
Okay. No problem. Yes, like I was saying, it builds trust so people can return to you without having to beg them. What kind of business are you running? Are you running a business that, yes, every single day you are trying to trip your friends to buy from you? So why should you need to work on your branding, that people you don't have to beg people to buy from you every single day. You don't have to come and cry on the internet. I have not made sales in the past 5 days, when you are just commonly dancing on the internet every single day. And I'm attacking every single person. I'm attacking the business owners. I'm attacking the designers, because I feel like a lot of things can be better in like Nigerian design, branding industry in general, creative industry. We are very, very We're very, very talented. But also, we also like to mix mediocrity with our talents. So are you begging people every single day to come and buy from you? If you are begging people every single day, then you need to close your shop, or you need to re-strategize on what you are doing wrong. I've seen a lot of people come and say, I've not made sales in the past 1 month. People come and please buy from me. After they buy from you that time, the next time you come back to my account on the internet, is that your new line of action? Are you just trying to gain sympathy from people to buy from you? That is not longevity. So what can you do differently from what you are currently doing that's making you beg every single day? Do you look great? Do you sound great? Is your experience great? See, I'm touching on these 3 things. Look great, sound great. The experiences that people are getting from me, is it great as well? These are very, very essential. And also, why branding matters, it saves you from competing on prices alone. I know Femi was talking the other time on how there's a lot of money in this branding thing. Let's think about it. The other day, I was watching one agency talking about how they charge about, was it $50,000 dollars for one branding project? Why are they able to charge such an amount? Do you just think it's about creating a logo? Or do you just think it's about, like, why do you think they're able to have so much value to sell such a thing? And if they do not even have that much value, how many people will buy from them? Because it's very easy to get lucky the first time, or can you consistently get lucky? If you do not have essence, people can mistakenly buy from you one time. But if you do not actually sell the thing that you aim to sell, people will actually read the room and say, I'm actually not getting full value for this thing. I have a lot of subscriptions that I pay for every single month. And sometimes I reevaluate and look at it. Okay, what value am I getting from this subscription? What value am I getting from the next one? And I can decide there and then, okay, I don't think this value is great enough for me to continue paying every single month. So what should you do every single month that will make people keep choosing you? That's where branding comes in to play. And I am intentionally not talking about creating logos. I'm intentionally not talking about how to design this, how to do that, all of that. I'm touching on the key things about branding. What decisions are you making? What decisions are you giving your clients every single day that helps them to be 10 times better than their counterparts? Anyway, so yes, I'm touching on the brand alchemy. I know I said, let me just run over it again. Like I said, alchemy in history was the ancient process of turning ordinary materials into something valuable, like turning lead into gold. It's also the process of transforming, which is something very key to me. Alchemy is the process of transforming, creating, and also connecting the dots, like connecting this and that together, that and this together. So now I've been able to talk about how you sound like, how you act like, how you make people feel, the experiences and all of that, how you look like as well. The ability to be able to connect all of these things together is what the alchemy does. That's what makes you succeed, your business succeed. That's what makes you as an individual succeed. Do you understand what I mean? So yes, that is that. I feel like I've been able to touch on every single thing. So you guys, thank you so much for this. I know that I might have been rambling a lot, and I apologize for that. But yes, that is generally that. Thank you so much.
Oh, wow. That's a beautiful session. Thank you very much. Please, you can, drop your emojis. That's a very beautiful one. I learned a lot. In fact, I was being reminded. I love your illustrations about your brand, the Bamboo Agency, the bamboo reinforcing the building and helping the structural, integrity until all the concrete is, rock solid. And then the fact that you call your clients pandas, like it's so beautiful. It's a beautiful way to tell a story, right? Okay, so this is my session, right? And my session is just like probably a recap. I don't have to share screen. Mo has done an amazing work, fantastic work. And the truth is probably after my session, there will be Q&A. And after the Q&A, we're going to have our quiz, right? Guys, in case you're not listening, the quiz is actually based on whatever it is that Mo has said and whatever it is I would say. So, yeah, that being said, thank you again, Mo. So the panda thing is beautiful. So if you call your clients pandas, right? And they're like, why are you calling us panda? And you explain to them, it's a way to even let them know that you are intentional about them and you thought them into the process. In fact, the truth is she mentioned something about sympathy. People don't actually come to you for sympathy. In fact, basically, there are 3 reasons why people buy from you. I think I can remember 2 off the top of my head. Number 1, if you make them more money. Okay, 3. Yeah, I can remember the 3. Number 1, if you make them more money, if your services make people more money, they will buy from you. Number 2, if you help them mitigate risk, they will buy from you because people don't like risk at all. If you help your customers mitigate risk, they'll buy from you. Number 3, if you help them save time. If you help people save time, they will definitely buy from you. But if you are selling based on sympathy, people will sympathize with you the first time, maybe the second time, and okay, really, really right, sympathetic people, maybe the third time, and after that, you're on your own. So it is important to know that your branding matters. And the truth is, this is the summary of everything that I'm going to say and more said. Branding equals reputation. That's it. Branding equals reputation. Okay, Mo is still sharing a screen. So branding equals reputation. What do people say about you when you're not in the room? That's branding. So, Femi likes graphic designers. Oh, Femi. And it is important to know that you cannot, of course, you cannot be in every room. So there will always be something said about you. And branding is multifaceted. To my wife, I'm somebody. To Mo, I am another person. To the people that work with me in the Elite Circle and the Whitespace Creatorverse, I am somebody else, right? However, there should be a distinctive factor of, okay, this person is an excellent something, or this person is a strong leader, or this person, there should be something that distincts you so that when they say who is Femi in a general room that has everyone that experience your different, sides, they should be able to tie it to one thing to say, this is this person, right? That is branding. And we've said it, we've oversaid it in talks, on podcasts, people's articles, whatever. They've said it over and over again that branding is not logo. And I'm not here to say it again, right? It's been oversaid. But Mo said it in another light. Branding is not visual identity. It's not your colors, your logo, your font. That's not branding. And, speaking about being intentional about your brand, whether you are selling something on Shopify, on Etsy, whether you are selling air, whether you are a graphic designer, whether you don't have a business as it were, but yourself is a business, you want to have personal branding, it is important that you craft a story from who you are. For instance, Elite Circle has a story, and that's what we shared with you. I shared with you at the vision sharing section, right? The story is this: we want to empower creative people to make more money. I want you to have more confidence in yourself so that you first value yourself. Know your own value before people begin to value you. Excuse me. Before people begin to value you and know your worth, right? And as for Whitespace Creatorverse, in fact, as Mo was explaining all those things about Bamboo, I was excited. Like, this is beautiful. Bamboo and Panda. I can't stop talking about it. And I was thinking, oh yeah, Whitespace too has something similar. That's why we are Whitespace. Whitespace is a concept in design, right? Whitespace helps your eyes breathe when you have, a design and you have, empty spaces around. It helps you focus on the major thing on the design. It gives your eyes breathing space, right? And one of the core of our own service is, number 1, to help the customers focus on what is needed when it comes to design, and to help the customer of the customer. Our customers are clients that bring services to us. So their own customers, to help them focus on the major thing. Then, through simplicity of visual communication materials, our designs are simple, however, very impactful. So you cannot meet, if you see a Whitespace design that has a lot of elements here and there, right? Maybe it's just because it's a birthday flyer or poster, right? We go with simplicity and excellence. And trust me, some people even say, oh, our services, how can I be charging this amount for ordinary flyer, ordinary this? But they now say, well, it's because it's actually excellent. I actually like what you're doing. Some people say, homo, this is not money, but just like Mo was saying, Iyasikira, right? And Iyamoshudo, what did she call that name? One person's akara is 5,000 here, and that person's akara is 1,500. And people will prefer to go buy the 5,000 naira Akara. Why? Because there's an experience that comes with it. And one of the experience that comes with our own design in Whitespace Creatorverse is that we promise the customer that back and forth, you won't do it more than once. And that once, if you do it once, is because you just say, okay, please, can you help us change this copy, right, to this? Not that you're coming to say this design is not fine. My eyes are, can you remove this image? I don't like it. No. If you're going to even do that, it's going to be because we've not gotten you, and probably it's the first time. But most of our retained clients, right, the last person even still told us that, guys, you just get me. Why? Not because we studied the person only. Yeah, we studied the people, right? But because we are telling you that we want to make our brand value those things. Number one, excellence. Number two, right? Reduce the stress of back and forth. So we give you that premium service, simplicity, and then we go. So Whitespace, at the end of the day, your eyes are breathing on the design, your mind is breathing, because you are not chasing us up and down to make some corrections that were not supposed to be there before. Excellence is the key. And that is the story we are telling with every design that our clients are part of. For bamboo, they are telling a story. The bamboo, the what's it called? The panda. The bamboo is, our bamboo is sweet and strong enough. I think the stronger the bamboo, the more the pandas enjoy, chewing on the bamboos. So we have strong service for you, whatever, and it's beautiful. So what are you telling with your Shopify store? What are you telling with your hair brand? What story are you telling with your clothing line? Whatever it is you're doing, what story are you telling? Even if you're a creative person, you're a graphic designer, you're a video editor, what story are you telling? Shifting back to Whitespace again, I can't stop talking about my brand. It's because in Whitespace, another brand thing that we do for people, or let me say brand promises that say, whatever it is that you want. That's why we don't call ourselves a creative agency or a, what's it called now? Graphic design agency. We are a visual communication agency. Sometimes we infuse code in our designs. Sometimes if we need to get code done, we get it done because we want the design to fit another platform. That is, so if the design needs to move, motion, right, we make it flat and we move. In fact, every of our designs are planned, right, such that when we have graphics design, we plan it ahead that in case we want to make motion for this, it will be possible. So we don't do designs that cannot evolve. Our designs are able to evolve. Again, I can say a lot from now till next year, but all you need to know as somebody that owns a business, runs a business, or somebody that wants to run their own personal branding is that you need to tell a story. If it's personal branding, if it's the kind of shirts you wear, the kind of shoes you wear, your language, the kind of videos you post, see, people don't know that every comment they drop on Instagram, in people's posts is a form of branding. Because when somebody, I think I was checking through a comment one time, I think on TikTok, and somebody said, "You, this guy, you are here again." And then I went to check his page and I saw that the guy, number one, he was unserious. Number two, every comment he has commented on in the past was always on serious comments, unrelated comments to whatever people are posting. So people already know his username as, this guy. Even if he comes to post something serious, there's an issue. Another typical example, these guys that run, what's this thing called? That run skits on the internet, right? And every of their videos, you must laugh. There was one guy, I won't call his name because I'm not paid for this advert. It's not an advert, but he came out to do it was very serious. It was not joking, a very serious video. And when I saw the video at first, I was already like expecting that, this guy will make me laugh today. And some of them, they'll start serious video, and then the end, you discover that this guy was not even serious. He just wanted to make us laugh. You can say there's something that's been happening in this, on this social media. I don't like it when I post about Eba, and you guys say you don't like, you think it's serious before, and then it's unserious. And then I was watching this guy, and I was shocked that it was serious to the end. And then I entered the comment section, and people were saying, first video where this guy is serious. So, I was even expecting that I was going to laugh. Even the serious things he was talking about, people did not even comment on that. They were commenting on the fact that he did not, in quote, follow his brand, in quote, funny kind of videos. So that is how strong brand is, right? Like she said, when people mention Gary in this room, I have a different thing in my mind for Gary, and she got it right. Mo got it right, as if we even spoke about it. Gary with cold water and granite, whether there's sugar or not. Yes, God, oh my God, it suits my soul so much. To some people, it is eba, hot eba, hot eba. To some people, it is putting it over what's it called, beans, and stirring the beans and eating it dry like that. So whatever it is, you must be very deliberate and intentional about your brand. There is no webinar, there is no video that I have done with a different color shirt, right? It's always either a black shirt or probably a white shirt, right? That has Whitespace branding all over it. Why? There is something we want to push out. So everyone in the room, please gather your Q and A's questions. Gather your questions, and Mo and I will be ready to answer those questions. Please, you can drop your questions in the chat box. And if we don't have questions, that means we can just move ahead to the what's it called now? To the quiz section. But please, before we go do that, let's gather our questions and let's so that we'll be able to answer those questions. But yeah, as we are gathering questions, I would also like to put it that, please, guys, on no account should you bend your principle or break your principle because a client wants to do some things, right? For instance, the client is telling you to copy somebody else's work verbatim, or probably for some reason your clients, in fact, we also spoke about contracting. It is still part of the branding. Imagine somebody is coming to you and they already know that you don't drop contracts, right? That you just jump into the design like that without dropping documents. But once they know you are serious with business and you drop documents, you follow due process, they even know that this person is serious minded, right? So branding is all encompassing. It is your reputation. It is, and also know that it is very important to have your strategy in your mind before you even start a business, right? And when I mean strategy in your mind, just answer just 2 questions. What's the purpose of this business? Who are the people I'm serving? That is all. Once you're able to answer those 2, and then the next question you should answer is, how do I want to serve these people? Once you get the how, the why, the what, the when, so that's how am I serving these people? Why am I serving them? What am I serving them? What service, what product, whatever. And when am I serving them? Is it now, or is it during the day? If it's a if it's an eatery business, is it during the day? Is it that I want to be running late night delivery only, exclusive? There's a brand in Lekki Phase 1 here that they always, when I was single, I actually used to patronize them a lot. They always deliver food only at night. And that was beautiful. And it had an entire story to it that, in fact, they were having a story around it in case you didn't have time to eat in the office, or you don't have time to cook at night, or maybe you slept off and you discover that, Omo, I never cook. You woke up by 12 and you're really hungry. Just pick your phone, WhatsApp them. They'll get the food to you under 1 hour, like under 1 hour, and good food, right? So when do you want to serve your service to people? When do you want to give people your service? So thank you very much. Christiana, please, you can now go to the Q&A section. I think we have one question while Mo gets ready to answer the questions. Thank you. And probably myself. Yeah.
All right. Thank you very much, sir. Wow, it has been such a time. Thank you very much, Morenike, for this session. Okay, we have a question in the chat box rather. Please give me a moment. So this is a question from owners. It says, okay, I believe it says, if logo is not brand identity or visual identity, what purpose does logo serve in a business then? I think I'll leave this question open for either Mr. Femi or Morenike to answer.
Okay, so thank you, Honors, for your question. I think it is very, very, I'll give you a very, very short answer. Think of logo as the face, something that is very recognizable to a brand, something very memorable, and branding as the whole person. So your logo is your face and your branding is your whole person. So your branding is your belief, your voice, your style, your behavior, and all of that. But the logo is what people can see. Maybe it can be like the first touch point of your brand. It can be what is most memorable about your brand. If you remember Apple logo is very, very recognizable. That is what a logo is supposed to do. It's a symbol that is meant to be memorable, recognizable. It's just your face. While your branding is you, your essence. So yeah, that's what it is.
Right. Thank you very much, Morenike. That was very straight to the point. Does Femi want to say any other thing?
Well, if I'm going to say any other thing, I'm just going to contribute to what she said. In fact, I love the illustration she gave. Simple. Probably I wouldn't have even said that. I wouldn't have said that. But that's a beautiful one. Your logo is your face, right? The logo is like the face, and the brand is like the personality of that person. And the brand, so it is what people experience when you act out. That's your brand. So imagine somebody that is fine, right? They'll say, this person is so handsome, this person is so beautiful. But sometimes when the person comes close to you like this, it can be the body odor, you run away, right? You say, oh, and that will be the first thing you remember. See, smell is very important, especially even in food branding. Smell is one of the ways that you recognize people, you remember people easily, honestly. Smell, this nose, right? The person might come to you and has a good smell and everything. You say, thank God, oh, the person is fine and has good smell. But before you know what is happening, the person has bad language, and it just turns you off. So branding is like the face. And some people, they are not fine in quotes because everybody is made beautiful, right? But some people, maybe their appearance is looking rough. But as you get to know them over time, you now discover that, oh, okay, this person is good. So let me tell you what happens. If you have a good logo and you don't have good branding, just like Mo said today, and she also mentioned in our podcast that we're going to be releasing, that a good logo will only make you thrive. Why? Because it's attractive. A good visual identity is attractive. People like the colors and everything. But when they begin to interact with you, because you don't have values and principles, because your business doesn't have a good story to tell and it doesn't have a consistent value, they begin to draw back. So the branding is the one that keeps you in the room. So if somebody is not really looking good, but is looking scruffy, that's why in some videos that they show on YouTube, that they will see an old, a very a poor person, and they will have just said this person is, and then before you know it, the person is the son of the CEO, and they'll be like, and the person has a lot of money, he has good character. So the thing is, your visual appearance, visual identity is important. However, not as important as the brand, but it is good to have both aligned. But if you have only visual branding, I mean, people will at first distance themselves. It will take some level of, extra strength for them to want to interact with that business or with that person before they begin to know that, oh, this person is actually good. They have good core, they have good values, right? So that's the striking difference between both. Thank you very much.
All right. Thank you very much, sir. That was so profound. The whole description of the face, the body. In fact, I feel like anybody, even if you don't know about branding before, just with all these things that has been answered today, you'll be able to understand what we're talking about. Okay, I'll be moving to the next question now. Okay. It says, does branding come before or during the business growth or development? And also, I will just read the next question too. It says also, does branding grow businesses? Does it evolve, expand, and adjust to the problems the businesses is trying to solve? Thank you. I will direct this question to.
It's for Mo. Yeah, I think Mo should just take the first one. Right. Just one after the other. Yeah, thank you.
Yes, please. So regarding the first one, I feel like a lot, as opposed to a lot of popular belief, Branding actually starts with you as the business or you as the individual. Give me a second. Someone is calling me. Okay, yeah. Branding starts with you and everything. You have to be clear about what you even want to do in the first place. You have to be clear about your story, your brand story, your positioning, your audience. So, like, what I'm thinking is branding starts before and also exists during or after. Does that make sense? So yes, you have to have your understand your brand story, your positioning, why you are doing this business, your audience, who are you selling to? Do you understand what I mean? So all of these things, you need to understand the core of your business even before you start anything. So branding starts before and continues during. I hope that answers your question, Kewe.
Yeah,
Do you have any
I
other
hope.
thing to add, Femi?
Yes, no, you are a very interesting person. There's a way you answer questions that it opens up an entire corridor of conversation, and it's beautiful. I mean,
Thank
in
you.
fact, your mind is amazing. So the truth is, like she said, branding comes before and even during and even after, right? But more often than not is before. That was when I try to answer the question of when, how, which, whatever, how you serve people. The truth is people buy from you first before your business. It is when you build your business over time and is a big conglomerate that people from all over the globe will now trust. But the truth is, your immediate people inside, they buy from you first. So what personal brand are you building for yourself? Do you want people to trust you? You want to build, do you offer excellent services? Do you speak well? Do you smell well? Whatever it is you do, there's a cadre of importance, right? Right. For instance, now, for our own business, things need to look good, right? To thrive. For some businesses, things need to smell. For food business, the environment needs to smell well, right? So you need to be able to weigh those things. So people buy from you from your business, I mean, because of you, because of your personal brand. So branding starts before and it continues even after the business. And even in fact, during the business, you now have to do more work now because you're now trying to implement yourself and pour it into the business. And now you're now getting people on board and you're now trying to teach them the culture of you, the culture of the business, so that the brand can thrive and the business can thrive, I mean, and stay in the door. So thank you very much for that question. Kewe, I hope this really, really answered and what Mo said. I hope we really did answer the question. So to the next question, Mo, I think you should go first too.
Yes.
Okay.
So answering the second, sorry, you can go on, Christiana.
Okay, I was going to read the question out again, but since you're about to answer, you can go ahead, Ma.
All right. Thank you so much, Christiana. So yes, answering the second question, it says, does branding grow with business? Yeah. So I remember I told Femi the other day that your business can only thrive whenever you do not have, if you don't have branding, your business can only thrive, but it cannot survive. I know Femi will record this conversation. So yes, your business can only thrive when you do not have branding. I don't know if that makes any form of sense. Meaning, every day you can open your store and sell maybe one piece of this and one piece of that, and it does not have any form of, like, you do not have any form of, there's no reason why people are coming to come and buy from you every day, maybe by chance, maybe by mistake, or maybe just we need something very urgently, but there is no call. It's not because of any form of thing that you have done to initiate it. So to answer your question, does branding grow with business, or does it evolve, expand, and adjust to the problems the business is trying to solve? The branding, number one, evolves your business, expands your business, and adjusts the problems your business is trying to solve. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Mo. Thank you very much. This question is beautiful in the sense that, in fact, Mo has answered it. If you listen to Mo very well, you have to listen to her carefully. Somebody was in the room while I was trying to edit that podcast, Mo, and the person was like, what did she say? I said, calm down and listen to everything she has said. When you said your logo your business will thrive. Your business will thrive without branding. It was like, I said, calm down.
But it will not survive.
But it will not survive. She now said,
Yes.
okay. So it is important to know that branding will solve some foundational problems, right? And some problems will not come up because branding has solved some issues. So this question of does it evolve and expand and adjust to the problems of the business? Not precisely. In the sense that because your values, as it were, don't expand and evolve, because branding, the core of branding are your values, right? And then we now have storytelling, and then we now have the visual identity, and then the strategy and all those things. But your values don't expand. You can just keep adding values as you get bigger. Okay, you know what? Maybe before our values were excellence and trustworthiness. And then before you know it, you see that some things are happening, and it looks like, okay, time, because you now have big production now. Production is getting bigger and bigger, and you need to now deliver 4 times in a short time than before. You now work on timing and timeliness, right? Teach your staff members, understand, the entire landscape, understand the entire landscape of working according to time, on time, and being on time, right? Then you can now engraft, when you've now gotten it, the concept, you can now engraft it to your branding and put it as part of your core values to say timeliness, right? So that is the only way I feel that your branding can evolve, or let me say one of the ways, with the way the business is growing, right? But when we now talk about basic principles, they don't. You just need to keep being excellent, right? But when business begins to grow bigger, you see new problems that you need to solve. And when you solve those problems, you need to have, values that underpin and anchor, that business. Because now we now have bigger balloons that we need a bigger anchor. So your branding evolves, yeah, but not precisely, as it were. So if you get the point, but branding solves the problem of the business more often than not. In fact, 80% of the time, branding solves the problem. Your reputation solves the issue. Thank you very much. So Christiana, the next question, if you're talking, you're muted.
Okay. Okay. Thank you very much, sir. That was really profound. Thank you so much. Going to the next question, it says, what's one common mistake that businesses make when building a brand? Also, what are the obstacles one will face during the building process? Okay, I think Mo should go first on this.
That's for Mo, yeah, because she even spoke about it during our podcast. But Mo, it's up to you. Okay, is Mo here?
Yes. Can you hear me? Okay, great. So yes, he asked what the common mistakes are that businesses make when they build a brand. Number one, they lack clarity. So I'm going to go back to what I was talking about in terms of what it entails to build a great brand. So now we're going to do like the opposite of it. So number one, lacking clarity would obviously is a common mistake that businesses make that avoids them to become great. So yes, lacking clarity, like I mentioned in the beginning, you are trying to copy another person, you do not have like a reason why you are starting, all of those things. That one is obviously a big no, and that's why your business will fail. Number two is inconsistency. If you are not consistent in all of your touch points, you say you want to, like I mentioned, one of my clients said, oh, they are building customization and all of that, and you are not consistently able to sell that message to your clients, or your consumers are not seeing that because they are buying your customization. If they are not seeing that, then you are inconsistent. So your business cannot yield or it cannot grow if you are inconsistent. So lack of clarity, inconsistency, and there is no connect. When there is no connect in your business will fail. And now answering the question, also, what are the obstacles one will face during the process, in the building process, and how can they be addressed? I feel like the biggest obstacle is having the patience and discipline to build clarity, consistency, and connection over time. So yes, I hope I answered your question properly, Timmy.
Thank you very much, I said T, sorry, Mo, for that. Yeah. So thank you, Tim Topper, for that solid question. So another mistake is that when you build a business for money, uh, it's going to be a problem, right? Because you don't have value and you don't have anything to offer. So you need one of the biggest mistakes that people don't ask the questions, right? The SWOT analysis questions, right? The what am I serving? How do I serve people? Who are the people I'm serving? When do I serve them? Right? And I think I've said how, right? How do I serve these people? So when you ask that, you have a precise, and you then don't copy other people. Be who you are. Be yourself, as it were. But also have a reference, because great businesses can be your reference point. Oh, what have they done? From now till tomorrow, I'll tell you something without missing words, right? I'm following closely Chris Do of thefuture.com, and I'm trying to replicate what is, because his business model for his community is the same thing we want to achieve, but this time in Africa, right? That is very important. And then the obstacles is that patience. Moa said it. You have to be patient. Branding takes time. Actually, building reputation takes time. Branding is no visual identity that you do under 1 month, 3 months, 2 months, and you say you've branded. Branding takes time. For people to trust you, it takes time. Branding takes time, and to destroy that branding, it just takes like less than 1 week to destroy an entire. In fact, less than one service. Just do one service for someone and just ruin everything. Do it wrongly, and that's it. You are done. But branding takes time, so you need to be patient. That's the obstacle. And to a large extent, if you think you need a certain amount of money, I mean huge amount of money, well, maybe not really. All you just need to do is be true to yourself and the core of your being, and then you see that you would, scale through obstacles. But business and marketing and sales problems, they exist differently from branding issues, right? So, but be consistent with yourself, and when it is hard to do those things, go back to your conviction, why you started the business, the why, the when, the how, the ahem. Because sometimes you will be tempted to do some products that are against what you want to serve to people. So you need to go back, and if it's profitable and it's still in line, also it just takes some wisdom to be able to do some things when it comes to business and branding. Thank you very much. So Temitope, I hope I answered your question too. I hope I tried.
Thank you very much, sir, for that. I think our next question too about how these challenges, these obstacles can be addressed has also been answered. Thank you very much for that profound insight. Can we just give a hand to Morenike and Mr. Femi as they, in fact, today, while she was speaking, I was like, oh my God, she won't charge every single person on this call. They're meant to charge you for this. But then, because powered by Whitespace Elite Circle, we are just so happy. We are so grateful for the insights and the how much you have poured into us today. Thank you very much. Okay, so as Femi mentioned, okay.
Sorry, Christiana. Sorry. So I was reading this question again. That's from Temitope below. That's the second part. It says the obstacles one we face during the building process and how they can be addressed. And I think 1 or 2 points popped in my mind. One is that people will negotiate your excellence if you're building for excellence, right? If you're building an excellent brand, people will negotiate your excellence, and you should by no means bend to that. And how do they negotiate it? They'll try to price you down. So I have a story. Okay, how much do you do flyers? I told the person the price, right? My wife even knows about this story very well, because I was just like off on that project. My wife was just laughing. Hey, these people, how they do these things. And the person said she's disappointed at my price. And I'm like really, like you're disappointed at my price? I don't get. He said she's comparing the prices with other people's price and is way above their budget. So I'm now like, so why are you saying disappointed? I also told my wife, I said, okay, probably the person doesn't know the right words to use. But when the person called me and I was on the phone, my wife was like, some people shall, because the way she was talking, as if she was one that built the business for me and gave me capital, right? She was like, and at the end of the day, in fact, because it's one of our core that, okay, customer, what's it called now? Empathy. I still told her, I said, you know what? If you cannot pay for this, okay, I can give somebody else that can pay and you pay the person, right? However, I'm not going less than this, even for that person that I'm going to give the project. And she went and came back and said, okay, how about this price? I said, no. She went again, came back and said, so she started bumping it up. When it got to a stage, I said, you know what? Okay, I would reduce the price for you on this basis of you going and coming back because you want to do this project really, really. And one of our, values that we want to serve you, even excellence at a very good rate that will profit from and you profit from. So I reduced the price and it was like, no, I still have to go down. And I was like, that's the best we can do. She involved as CEO. We stood on our ground, right? So the thing is, we are trying to build reputation. At the same time, people should not be allowed to negotiate your values, right? Some people, they will try to negotiate that, like I said, you should copy somebody's work. Some people, they will try to negotiate your delivery time and process. For instance, if it takes 4 months to deliver a branding project, for instance, some people will say they need it next month and they will come and they will expect you to finish everything you're supposed to do in 5 months in just 1 month. And they still want to pay half of what they want to pay. And they will tell you, in fact, they will expect you to squeeze the entire process in 1 month. And you know that you can't do that. So at the end of the day, they are negotiating that you remove some core processes. And by the time you say, okay, no problem, I will do it, you are already scattering your brand. So see, customers will not kill you. Once you say something cannot work for your business, it cannot work. But if you feel it can work and it will not damage your branding and reputation, why not go for it? So I think that's one thing that came to my mind. More, I don't know if something else came to your mind too, but yeah, I think I'm done with that.
Yes, I was saying that you've literally said it all. Don't try to undersell yourself. If you are very certain of the value that you're bringing, do not undersell yourself for any reason. Some people can be very convincing, and I feel like you should be well compensated for whatever value you're bringing and everything, as long as it merits whatever you're doing as well. You understand? So don't ever undersell yourself, no matter the situation, no matter the reason. Most of the time, you will always regret the decision.